Hello, today I'm going to be moving a family I made into 2 apartments in Newcrest. The first apartment being in the little brick building in the trio of houses in the top corner, and then the second one being in the brownstones again. So I started in the brownstones. In this video, I also show you like cast and everything. It's not just a speed build, and then I do take some pictures at the end, and I am gonna get into all of their lore and stuff. But first, as always, my main channel will be linked in the description of this video. If you're interested in my day-to-day life, I would highly recommend going and checking that out. I post on there every Tuesday and Saturday. Okay, so getting into this build, was it last week? No, week before last is when I decorated the other apartment on the top floor in the brownstone next to us. So I just have to come up with people like fill the rest. Again, I always have like disclaimers. Before I get into the lore on this family, I just wanted to say that, I think I mentioned this in my last video, but I'm going on a road trip soon. So I have to do a lot of pre-filming pretty much for the next like week or so. I'm gonna be filming like a video every single day to be posting throughout the road trip when I'm busy and whatever. So I just wanted to let you know that all of the stuff you're gonna be seeing over the course of the next few weeks is gonna be kind of like old stuff that I haven't been doing currently. So yeah, okay. This video is going to come out before I start the road trip though, so whatever. Anyways, that's not really important. So, this family, I do just want to say, I didn't make the father and the daughter. They were randomly generated, so they're not like proper Sims townies, but they were NPCs, and I decided to keep them because I had already built a relationship with some of my, child Sims. Like, I know you still haven't met Catherine Scott, but Catherine Scott and Theodore Russo are friends with her, and so then I was like, you know what, since she isn't a townie, I will keep her anyways. As you can see, I clearly was struggling with the curtains in this apartment, but I decided to go with these ones and just not do curtains on the little windows, which I thought was fine. And then, yeah, I also already did their bathroom, their little laundry space, and now I'm doing the laundry space. Okay, anyways, so continuing on, I decided to keep the girl and her dad. The girl's name is Mariko Yamashita, and her dad, his name is Susumu, which I found this interesting because I was thinking about changing his name because that's the name he was randomly giving, same thing with Mariko, but I looked it up and I felt like it's actually relevant, like the meaning of the name. When I'm naming my Sims, I'm not like thinking about like the meanings of the names or whatever, but I just felt like his was good for this situation. So let me get into the lore I decided for them. So Mariko is really into soccer, which at first was kind of the only thing I had on her. I have my notes pulled up, so if there's like frequent pausing and stuff, it's because I'm like rereading my notes on them, because there's just like a lot here. And I decided that her parents would be divorced because originally, right, when she was like randomly generated as an NPC, it was just her and Susumu, so I didn't want to like change that really, I don't know, but then I also wasn't feeling the him being a single dad vibe, so I decided that her parents are divorced. So that's why we have 2 apartments going, is we're gonna have her dad's apartment and then her mom's apartment. What we're decorating right now is her mom's apartment. So I completely made her mom. Her mom was not a pre-made sim. I made her for this specifically. I decided I'll get into like her parents' lore first, because all of her lore is like Mariko's is relevant to her parents. So her mom's name is Masuyo, and pretty much she cheated on Susumu and they got a divorce. I guess you could say it was amicable. So she cheated. I didn't actually make the guy that she cheated on Susumu with yet. I'm gonna do that at some point, but I just don't really have anything for him, about him. Like, I just didn't feel like it was necessary to make him, because he's not fully relevant, like, to their lore. But pretty much in their marriage, She worked, and I think he stayed at home. He's just kind of, I don't want to hate on him, but they're both at fault in their divorce, even though she cheated, because obviously there's no real excuse for cheating, and she should have just divorced him, but he was not a good husband. He wouldn't do anything, wouldn't clean up after himself. He didn't have a job, so she was, like, obviously kind of the breadwinner, but he wasn't doing any house chores. He also wasn't, like, really taking care of Mariko, so Masuyu just felt really kind of overwhelmed with that. Like, it's so funny to me that I'm talking about this like they're real people, and it's just like these are fake people that I made. And I got really sad in this video, actually, when I was taking pictures of them. Oh, I realized this, I think after I finished filming, maybe not. I didn't realize that the couch I put down, it's custom content. I didn't realize that it came with a frame, so right now it's currently floating. I think I noticed that later when I was like, the couch is floating, but then when I lowered it into the ground, Mariko's feet were through the floor, and I was like, oh frick, and then I figured out like it has a frame. Right now I'm going and doing Masuyu's room, but yeah, so she cheated on Susumu. It was a one-night stand with a coworker of hers when she was drunk. They just hooked up once, and she was like, oh frick, I did not mean to do that. And she immediately told Susumu and cut contact with the guy. And then she and Susumu got a divorce anyways. So, like, they're not on good terms, really, but it's amicable in the sense that, like, they both agreed that that was the best thing, if that makes sense. And then that's that. I found this so funny. So, like, I was not, like, big on Gabby Hanna, as in, like, a fan. I'm talking just, like, I was just obsessed with her because she was just, like, kind of insane, you know, for a time being. I don't know if she still is. I feel like there have been mixed opinions on her since 2020 and everything, but I literally wrote in my notes that Masuyu was serving, overwhelmed, overworked, overpaid pre-divorce, which is like a Gabby Hanna reference, which I don't even know why I said that. Now, as you can probably tell as we watch this, Mariko's favorite color is orange, so I decided to give her a really nice orange bedroom. But anyways, yeah, so they got a divorce. I don't know where they, like, lived before the divorce, whether it was in Newcrest, but obviously they wanted to do the best that they could for Mariko, so they all live in Newcrest anyways, although in 2 different apartments. And in my mind, Masuyu didn't have, like, a lot of friends or anything, or much of a life pre-divorce, because she was just working constantly. And so I want her, obviously I haven't fully done this because I haven't been spending a million years making Sims, but I want her to get some friends and stuff post-divorce. Now, with Susumu, so I looked it up. His name means, like, to move forward, and it represents, like, growth and perseverance. This is, like, according to Google, so if I'm wrong, don't, like, flame me for that. So pretty much his whole kind of plot is that, like, after the divorce, he was like, man, even though it was wrong of her to cheat on me, I still just was not a good husband, you know, like, I am partially at fault for it and should have been doing better, and now I will do better. Really quick, I was just going through and adding some, like, soccer details, because Mariko is a soccer player, which we will get into in a second, when I get to, like, her lore. And I want to do, like, kind of accent walls, so I just gave her, like, fun, different shades of orange for her walls, and then I'm just putting up some soccer posters, and then I think I go to my library and I move them in. Actually, I had a bunch of problems with this. This filming is kind of split into 2 different things. All of the building I did last night, and then I did some of the lore stuff, like, this morning, like the photos and setting up, like, custody and whatever. I pretty much had to have them get married and then get divorced, so I could set up, like, split custody. I do have a mod by Lumpino. Thank God. All of their mods are so insanely good. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's the one with, like, custody and everything. So their schedule's every 3 days, because I just did the automatic one rather than, like, the parents would be like, oh hey, can she stay over now? I just did the automatic one, which was every 3 days. Anyways, continuing Susumu, so he was kind of like, I don't want to say he was like an incel because he wasn't, but he was just kind of very uninvolved, as I said, very much kind of a gamer freak. So really quick, this is the kitten. His name's Jimmy. Mariko named him, and that's the kitten that Masuyo got for Mariko after the divorce. And here I'm just showing you all of her outfits. She's very much just like standard kind of corporate, if you know what I mean, like, because she's still very, very work centered. So then I moved her in, and then I think I kind of showed the apartment one last time. I had to turn on free real estate, and then I go and start doing Susumu's apartment, which is much less nice. Like, it's, I don't know, it's not bad, it's just like his income obviously is not as much as Masuyo's still, because he didn't really work during their relationship, and so now he's kind of a very low-level job. I just let him keep whatever job he had. Anyways, back to like his stuff. He is working on being, I mean, I guess not really a better husband because he's not married, but at least a better father to Mariko, and he's working on being more involved. By the way, as you can see, they're gonna live on the ground floor of the left building. Yeah, so he's working on it, but he's still not like the best father to her. And so like post-divorce he's gotten somewhat better. And yeah, and so like at first, so now this is kind of where I start getting into Mariko. Because my idea is that right when the divorce happened, he kind of like spiraled, and all of his like lazy bum tendencies got a lot worse because he was like depressed, which whatever, makes sense, you know. And so then Mariko was like tweaking out at him, and so then that's when he started being like, oh frick, like no hate, but like I have a kid and I need to start like prioritizing her and getting my life together. So he's working on it. But yeah, and now we get into Mariko's lore, because she is very mean. Okay, she's mean. And I don't know why I just paused so long, because I know exactly what I want to say. What the frick? Okay. She is mean because of her parents' divorce, because she knows why they divorced. Like, it just isn't like, oh, I don't know, we're not together anymore. It's fine, we still love each other, we're just not together. Like, she knows that they have, like, crazy beef and whatever. And she resents both of her parents for different reasons. Obviously, she resents her dad because he was very uninvolved, and so she feels like he was partially to blame for the divorce for that. But then obviously she also blames her mom because she knows that her mom cheated. So she has mixed feelings, thinks they're both in the wrong, which, to be honest, I fully agree, and she kind of hates them both, at least at the moment. I'm planning on, like, later she'll kind of reconcile with the both of them somewhat. So she's like tweaking out, and then this is kind of, not to be like cringe, but this is where we get into like her soccer stuff, because I think she's very good at soccer. Obviously soccer isn't like a fully fledged thing. I have her in a club, which I will talk about more in a second, but she's very good at soccer, but it's actually mainly like her way to take out all of her anger and frustration is she's just like, I'm gonna soccer, you know. I don't know, because I'm not a big sports person like that, but I just felt like it was a good way for her to kind of like release emotions and things and whatever. And then I decided that she's gonna like sort herself out in high school, and so like right now she's kind of, I don't know who all of her friends are gonna be. Obviously Catherine Scott and Theodore Russo, but obviously she's gonna be kind of sort of friends with other people. I know she's gonna have a best friend. I don't know who that person is gonna be yet, because I deleted her. It was my queen, Elsa. but I deleted her, so she's gonna need an Elsa replacement. Yeah, so, like, I wrote down that I think right now her friends try to give her some grace because obviously she's going through a difficult thing with her parents' divorce, but once it doesn't stop, because I got a preteen mod, so she's gonna be a preteen before she's a teen, and so once it doesn't stop and she doesn't, like, start being nicer to her friends when she's a preteen, then some of her friends are like, I'm sorry, but, like, I just can't be around this. Really quick, I think I show you Mariko and Susumu and Cass now. Yes, okay. So I don't know, it's just very boring, bland outfits, a lot of styled outfits. I didn't really care. Yeah, that's him. And then Mariko, very sporty-ish, loves the color orange. I don't know why her shoulders are like that. Like, she's such a triangle. No hate to her. I'm not, like, hating at all, but, like, she's just like that, and I tried to change them a little bit, and I couldn't. But that's fine. That's where she is. So then I moved them in, and then I think I started kind of doing some lore stuff after this. I don't know what I was... Oh, I had to go in really quick and, like, reassign... I wanted to put down how many bedrooms and bathrooms were in each unit in this place, so I did that quickly. But yeah, so then when she's a preteen, whoever her best friend is gonna be like kind of stage sort of an intervention, except it's like for her behavior, and she's gonna be like, hey, queen, you need to stop acting like this. Like, I get that your life sucks and whatever, but genuinely, like, I can't keep being friends with you if you're acting like this, and this is why everyone is distancing themselves from you. Really quickly, I'm going and making... I saved them to my gallery and then made a new household, and I'm making, like, younger versions of them for, like, the family photos. And so this is, like, pre-divorce, and then we're gonna make toddler and infant Mariko to take some pictures from, which I will talk about kind of the outcome of the pictures, because I was on the phone with my friend, Olivia, during this, and I was asking her what she thinks, and I just don't know how I feel. So I will also throw this out there that I'm undecided on a certain thing, and when we get there, I will let you know about it. Oh my god, I don't remember if the pictures I took with the baby I changed the outfit, because I gave Masuyo 2 outfits, and then I just used one of Susumu's other outfits. One of the outfits for the toddler photos and the other for the baby photos, and I don't remember if I changed her outfit for the baby photo, which I might want to go back in and redo that. We'll see. I really like the hair I gave her. I wanted to give her tights, but it just kind of wasn't working out. So this is the kind of final outfit I came up with for her as a toddler. Her hair is so cute. Yeah, and then here Masuyo and Susumu are young adults. Anyways, okay. Because, yeah, this is where I'm doing the outfit thing, because I like kind of the jumpsuit as after she was a baby, but it didn't feel like her, so I felt like for the toddler situation, I should give her a more her-like outfit. Anyways, okay. So then, back to, like, Mariko's future lore. Her best friend is going to kind of stage a behavioral intervention, and then Mariko is going to be like, frick, yeah, I suck, and I shouldn't be taking, like, my own anger and frustration regarding my parents and my life situation out on my friends. Oh, that... I was just showing all of the different hairs to Olivia on the phone, because baby hairs are crazy, and we decided to go with that one because we thought it was funny. Anyways, yeah, and so then when she becomes a teen and is in high school, she's going to start, like, kind of reconciling with some of her friends and things. And then I decided that some of her friends, obviously her best friend, and I think probably also Catherine, Scott, and Theodore Russo, because I love them. Maybe, I mean, I don't know, because I haven't fully fledged out, like, friend groups and whatever, but I think some of them are going to be like, yeah, awesome, thanks for apologizing, we'll keep being friends, let's move on. And then other people are going to be like, no hate, I can't get over the way you treated me, so, like, I'm sorry, I just can't be friends with you. And then she's gonna move on. I think she's gonna be an athlete, though. Like, I think through this divorce situation, she's gonna discover that soccer is her passion. Okay, and she's gonna be an athlete. Anyways, I just pulled up to a random empty lot to design a fake living room. because I realized that I couldn't have them take their little cute family photos in either of their apartments, because those are the post-divorce apartments, and hypothetically they would have had a little house rather than their apartments. So I made a fake living room in their pre-divorce house. And then I wanted to take a couple's photo of Susumu and Masuyo. And then I didn't see, this is so frustrating. I have so many pose packs with toddlers, but weirdly I couldn't find any that were like 2 parents and a toddler. I have a bunch of 2 parents and a baby photos, and a number of sibling and toddler photos, and a number of single parent and toddler photos. So what I ended up doing is I have their like couple photo, and then I also have what the frick? I also have pictures of each of them with Mariko as a toddler, and then a picture of the 2 of them with Mariko as an infant. And that's pretty much where I got. At some point in the future, and I don't know if I'm gonna film this because I don't know if like the posing and stuff is really all that important, but obviously once she has like friends and things, I'm gonna go back and like take photos of her and her friends and whatever, but I haven't made those people yet. So like there's gonna be more pictures to take with her. But these are just kind of that. 'Cause yeah, this is no hate. Obviously, I spent a really weird, long amount of time working on taking pictures of my fake family to put in my game. But like, oh my god, that picture's so cute. So that's Masuyo and Mariko as a toddler. Anyways, what am I even trying to say? Oh, I just feel like this isn't as kind of entertaining to watch, you know? Like, even if I were to watch Sims videos, which I do all the time, constantly, this is not what I'm interested in, you know? I like to see the finished products of the photos, but I don't really care about watching the photos being taken, if that makes sense. So I think when I just do other stuff, like, in the future, Mariko has friends, I'll just say and, like, show the photos at some point, once we, like, I don't know, get back to Mariko in the future or whatever, but I'm not gonna make it a whole thing of like, today's episode, I'm gonna take pictures of Mariko and her friends, you know, if that makes sense. Obviously in here, I'm talking about like this whole family's lore, and so I felt fine leaving this in, but like, if pretty much like the main thing I'm doing in my gameplay that day is just taking photos, I'm not gonna film it. I will just like do an update. But like if my main thing is other stuff, like for example in this one, like doing the whole speed build situation, then I will leave this in. Now, I was like an idiot and I was like weirdly really struggling with getting the pictures from young adult Susumu's inventory, because I'm gonna end up deleting him, getting all of the pictures and giving them to the proper family. So I ended up, it was so stupid, I moved him in to adult Susumu's house and then deleted him from there. So like he gave the photos to adult Susumu. Now, here's where the real kind of question comes in, right? Because Susumu and Masuyo beef with each other crazy, and so neither one of them, I feel like, would be like, yeah, let me keep this photo of me and my ex-husband, or let me keep this photo of me and my ex-wife, you know, even though it has like their daughter in it. At some point I want to go through and take some more like pictures of just the 2 of them and stuff. Obviously the toddler pictures I can put up, which weirdly I kind of forgot that I took those by the end of this, so I just didn't do it. But I was setting up their custody, and then really quick I set up their jobs. And then also, Mariko is having beef with her parents, and so to me, she's not gonna be like, let me keep this couple's photo of me and my parents, or, because she's, I don't know, she's a kid, you know, she's not like logicking it out like a teenager might be, where it's like, man, I'm really upset with my parents right now, but also like, whatever, like she's a kid, and I feel like she's gonna be like, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this, I hate my mom, I hate my dad. And so like I feel like she wouldn't have those pictures either. So like they exist, and right now they're just sitting in Susumu's inventory. Oh, this is where I had the couch debacle, and then I figured it out. But yeah, right now they're just sitting in Susumu's inventory, and they exist, but I don't know who's gonna have them. My thing is probably eventually Mariko, right? Which would, like, make sense, and I'm totally fine with her having them in the future, and kind of being like, man, like, both of my parents messed up, but they were also both in a difficult marriage and probably should have just gotten a divorce anyways, whatever, when she kind of sort of reconciles with her parents. Anyways, my only thing, though, is, like, she can have those pictures later, but I still don't understand, like, who has those pictures now. Like, obviously, Susumu does, but I don't feel like he would. Like, I just, until Mariko reconciles, I just don't understand, not don't understand, I haven't really, it doesn't, I don't know who would have those pictures in the meantime, you know what I'm saying? And then right now, I'm taking some photos of Mariko and her kitten, Jimmy. I don't know why I picked the name Jimmy, I just thought it was funny for a kitten, and I feel like kids name their cats weird stuff. Like, I named my cat Sombrero. I've had 5 cats in my life. I love them all very much, and 2 dogs. I named my dogs. So my first 2 cats I got together when I was 2. Also, here, oh my god, it made me so frustrated because this was like, no hate to the person that made this because I'm very happy they did, but this was like a Russian pose pack, and I couldn't find instructions on where I'm supposed to place the teleporter, so I was just like, I kept placing it around randomly to try to get her on the bed. Eventually I figured it out, and it's fine. Anyways, yeah, so the first 2 cats I had were named Tanner and Lily, and I didn't name them. That's just like the names that the shelter gave them. I was like 2, so I wasn't really in a space to name them. My next cat, well then, like, if we're going chronologically, then I got my 2 dogs, who were litter sisters. I love them so much. And I named them Frances and Madeline after my favorite book characters at the time, Madeline from, like, the little French books, and Frances, like, Frances the Badger. And then after that, I got my cat, Sombrero, who I named. And then next cat I got, I was 9. And I picked her up out of a parking lot, and I named her Chloe, and then when I was like 13, I got my most recent cat, who I named Athena, who I love Chloe and Athena so much. Obviously, I do love all of my pets, but they died, not to make it, like, depressing or whatever. They were all very old, like, it wasn't like a big emotional thing or a big shock. Actually, Sombrero's kind of was. I don't need to get into that. In any case, all of this to say, kids name their pets kind of weird stuff, and I like the name Jimmy for this little kitten. I thought it was cute. He's a Tonkinese. I don't know if I said that earlier. And yeah, so I put some photos, like frames, up on her wall way earlier, and then I just thought in the middle spot above her bed I would put a picture of her and Jimmy, which, again, the divorce kitten. It's the divorce kitten. But yeah, that is pretty much gonna be the end of this video. Very long, chaotic. Sometimes I often feel like I don't have enough to say, and then I feel like I get to the end of the videos and I'm like having to speed an outro because I just ended up yapping the whole time. But yeah, so there's gonna be some stuff with this family later. Oh my god, I didn't even talk about the soccer team. What the frick? She's on a little club soccer team as a kid that I made. It's literally just a club called Girls Soccer Team, and their activity is to play soccer, and she's in it with one other kid right now, and the other kid's dad is the little stupid coach. Whatever. We're not even on that family. That will be a future thing. I will see you next week. Okay, goodbye.